Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Hedera and Hbar. So with that being said, let's just dive on in and let's start off with this. So one thing that I've always talked about on this channel, and I've kind of sounded like a broken record when I do talk about it, is community engagement and growth. During a bear market, it is so crucial. And Hedera, well, guess what? They've been absolutely killing it. Just recently, they were at the Singapore FinTech Festival, which we did talk about a little bit, even with Ripple. This was a pretty large event, and we even do see here a huge thanks to the Hedera Governing Council members, Dentons, and LSE News, as well as the teams from Swirlds Labs, HBAR Foundation, and the Hashgraph, presenting, networking, and spreading word about the power of course, the Hashgraph. And here you guys have some images from the event. You could also see the Hedera station. Very exciting stuff. Listen, I've always said it. As we really kind of look at Hedera, they are next level. They have been focused heavily on everything that they need to be. We've talked a little bit about the stablecoin studio. Huge move being made. But also outside of that, community growth and engagement has been next level. Listen. I know that we recently just talked about how Hedera had 300,000 followers. Well, they're already at 311.4K, which is pretty crazy to think about because we are still very well in the depths of the bear market. We have not bounced back just yet. I know that price action and things like that have been kind of kicking up a little bit, but we are still very well in the depths of the bear market, and retail just isn't here yet. So as we really kind of look at what's going on here, everyone needs to be focused heavily on what Hedera is doing because they're doing everything right. Outside of this, social mentions. Check this out. Hbar, more social mentions in the last 24 hours on the 20th, of course. More than Caspa, Solana, XRP, Doge, and so many other projects. We are only right behind Ethereum, Chainlink, and Bitcoin, which really shows you that there's a lot of attention on Hedera. Listen, like if you are not focused on what Hbar is doing here, I really think everyone should be, because if you're not, you're going to miss out on something special. Because in my opinion, Hedera's been making a lot of movement, a lot of noise. And listen, when we go into that next bull run, everyone is going to be surprised about the overall price action that Hbar does pull, because in my opinion, with how much substance is here, with how much community engagement, and even actual utility, I just don't see how Hbar doesn't explode. But outside of this, also, big update from Hedera. We are excited to announce the availability of smart contract verification on Hedera, bringing increased trust and transparency through the enablement of smart contract evaluation, ensuring alignment between deployed bytecode and its source files. Using this new service, all users on the Hedera network will be able to independently verify smart contracts and make informed decisions on whether a contract is worthy of interaction, bolstering security and driving community collaboration. We believe this service is a critical step forward for developers, enterprises, Web3 solution providers, and end users, facilitating more Hedera transactions to be secure and transparent. Thank you for joining us in creating a more trustworthy ecosystem. Awesome stuff. Listen, this is what you want to see. This is going to improve and build upon the security of the network, providing much more trust and transparency, and so much more. Listen, this is what we want to see. This is exactly what we want to see. And again, this is what puts Hedera into that next stage of major adoption. Very exciting stuff. Also, we just recently seen Lehman talking a little bit more about the Guardian. The Guardian service is a big use case. I know everyone has their own opinion on sustainability, but I talked about it, right? As we look at enterprise grade names, they are going to be mandated on sustainability solutions and transparency. Hedera is at the forefront of this. They are already utilizing it to drive sustainability with real world use cases. And the names are ServiceNow, Avery Dennison, SB Group, and many more. Check this video out.
So is anybody actually using this thing? Yes, this has a lot of traction. There are a lot of people using this. I'm just going to give you 8 use cases very quickly in my last 3.5 minutes. But there is a huge ecosystem of people using Guardian and the things that it enables. So Avery Dennison is tracking literally billions of objects through supply chains. Every second, they send 1,000 transactions to Hedera through the Atma project, just to record things in this supply chain. And they want to make the supply chain green. So they want to track carbon emissions at every step along the way so that some final user might be able to buy offsets. Or you could even buy offsets in the chain itself. And so some of these might be carbon neutral because it has a record of a carbon emission and a record of a carbon offset, and the two were put together, and it even records that. So you can have green supply chains, green because they're carbon neutral, or green because they have carefully recorded their exact carbon emissions so that someone else can deal with them and make them carbon neutral. This is what Avery Dennison is doing, tracking the supply chain. Then you have ServiceNow, and they are doing the tokenization as a service for the carbon credits or the carbon emissions. You can do both. You can tokenize both, and you can match up the tokens. Then you have markets for one of those two. For the carbon credits, you have markets. You don't really have markets for emissions. Although I can imagine cap and trade regulations in the future, maybe even creating markets for that. But yeah, whatever. Right now, it's carbon credits and emissions that are being tokenized. You would trade the credits. You wouldn't trade the emissions. ServiceNow, of course, is enormous. Software as a service company for technical management support. Everybody knows ServiceNow. Everybody uses ServiceNow. And they are doing this to be green. They're using the token, doing the tokenization, and it plugs into the Guardian ecosystem, and it's all built on Hedera. Then you have Standard Bank. They're doing green bonds. And so they're going to be able to sell green bonds that will be doing this green stuff. And they're doing the self-sovereign identity. So identity actually is a very important part of this. Being able to prove that you are you when you're buying and selling and dealing with people and being audited and creating the credits. You wouldn't believe a credit from a stranger. You need to know who they are so you can audit them. So they're doing self-sovereign identity work as well. Very important part of this. We could have a whole talk on identity. Identity is incredibly important. Then you have Timeless. They are doing this decarbonization that is auditable and verifiable, creating the tokens. Another one, they're a world leader in sustainability solutions. This is another project built on Hedera, using Guardian, making all of this real. And you have Dovu, and they have a trusted tokenized carbon marketplace. I told you these tokens aren't useful unless you have markets. So they're creating the markets. See all the different pieces? Some people track, some people create tokens, some people now have markets for tokens. There's all sorts of different pieces of this puzzle, and they're doing it. We have people right now on board on this, and they're doing this. They're using Hedera to do these things. So we have Tovu doing that. And then there's Cryptsy and Carbon Core, and they are building workflows and audit trails, and they're building procedures and methodologies. And that's another piece of the puzzle that is critical, and they're doing this. And it works with Guardian, and it works on Hedera. And Envision is doing this, allowing you to create tokens easily. You have to make it easy to do these things. So given all of this huge ecosystem, I would invite you to join this ecosystem. Get involved. You can create carbon credits, or you can consume carbon credits, or you can record your emissions. The question is, what green future will you build? Thank you.
So there you guys have it. And again, you know, one of those big names is ServiceNow. I've always brought up ServiceNow because I think that a lot of people forget just how big some of these players are that are already tapped in with Hedera. I mean, as a retail investor, we seriously have an opportunity in front of us to invest in technology that nearly every enterprise name will be looking into, or possibly at some point in time even utilizing, and it's because of how efficient Hedera actually is. Listen, this is truly something special, and like I said, ServiceNow is one of those leaders. When we look at ServiceNow, they are a big name, and they've already tapped in with Hedera when digital experiences work. They are a platform that offers, you know, a full-on solution for a fast-changing world, built to optimize processes, make work more intuitive, and create new value. Beyond this, well, guess what? They already have 85% of the Fortune 500 working with ServiceNow. And again, they are a digital-first business, and they are enabling customers to innovate at scale and speed. And it's very exciting for them to be tapped in with Hedera because this is right on par with what Hedera is doing. Hedera is extremely scalable. It's extremely fast. It's extremely low cost. Like, this is what gets me very excited about Hedera because of these major solutions that are very, very significant for the enterprise space. And remember, right? Enterprises are going to be mandated. We already see this becoming a trend overseas. So if we are starting to see enterprises being mandated for sustainability options, well, the Guardian is a perfect fit for that. And again, we already know that 85% of the Fortune 500 are working with ServiceNow, which is already tapped in with Hedera. I've always brought this up simply because I do think that we could see a lot of these major names that are tapped in with ServiceNow exposed to Hashgraph technology. Now, outside of this, SPR World, well, they officially launched their website. You guys are more than welcome to go check it out. Looks awesome. Remember, this is powered by Quora, and this is also working with Hedera. When we look at SPR World, right? Because on face value, this doesn't seem like much. It's whatever, right? They are tapped in with Quora. Quora is one of the largest. In fact, it's the #1 Arabic language website in MENA. It's ranked in the top 300 websites worldwide with 18 million visitors per month. This is a massive name, especially in the sports region. But remember, right? Like, this is how you tap in to millions of individuals. Mass adoption is made through names like Spira that are, again, working with Hedera. This is very exciting. And then also, tokenization. Shout out to the Genfinity team, Generation Infinity over on X. Real world asset tokenization is unfolding. Traditional financial firms like Aberdeen, a member of the Hedera GC, are leading the way. Managing billions, they tokenize funds. Again, as we look at tokenization, it's becoming a big trend. And when you are trying to tokenize assets, you want the most efficient technology. Hedera is providing that. But check this out.
This real world asset tokenization happening, and I think we are seeing it in some ways faster and in some ways slower than we had expected. We are seeing interest from traditional financial services firms. So one of our governing council members is Aberdeen, which manages billions of dollars in assets based out of the UK. They are doing tokenization of their funds. So you think of a traditional mutual fund, they are trying to bring some of that clarity and some of that accountability and transparency to those kinds of funds. And there is an interesting, I think typically you have sort of seen people say, okay, well, crypto is an asset class and I'm going to think about it separately. They are thinking about tokenization in terms of ways that you could sort of leverage your some of your crypto to potentially, park money overnight in tokenized money market funds.
And again, this is all happening on Hedera. This is why I say, like, when we look at HBAR, I don't see how this project doesn't explode in the next bull run. Again, we're still in the speculative wave of crypto, but imagine what HBAR and Hedera is going to look like in 5-10 years from now. And I'm not saying that we have to wait that long, but I'm just saying, like, imagine what this space is going to look like in 5 or even 10 years, especially for a lot of these utility gems like HBAR and these companies like Hedera that have been nonstop building, expanding, networking, connecting. And again, they are already becoming a major player in the enterprise space, but also even in the institutional space. Like, this is what's very exciting about the future for Hedera and even HBAR. And this is something that I've been watching for a while in terms of, that peak moment where we start to see a wave of adoption for Hedera. Back in 2021, we did not have this. We didn't have any of this. And now, fast forward, just 2 years down the road, and it has accelerated faster than anything else. And with that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on for some more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter as well as join the free Discord down in the description below. And also, if you guys do want to go get your very own crypto merch, tokenizedthreads.com, my official apparel company. You guys are more than welcome to go check it out. We have some HBAR stuff, we have some XRP stuff, XLM, and so much more. Tokenizedthreads.com, links down in the description below as well as in the comments below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Peace out.